Wait, no, this can't be. 47? You got a job? All jokes aside, welcome back to the How Silent Can We Be challenge. I am Joe Clark and I am happy to have you all back. Today we are in Marrakesh, Morocco, and we are going after two people. A warlord under the name of General Zaydan and Klaus Hugo Stramberg, who is, from what I know, a very not nice politician. As per usual, if you need a refresher of the How Silent Can We Be rules, they are on your screen now for you to read. And this is my starting loadout. What you may notice is that for the first time ever, I'm actually using a start in disguise, because I quite frankly realised I didn't say that I couldn't. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed today's video. We started off by having the ICA pull some strings to get Tobias Reaper from corporate liquidator to minimum wage waiter. But after 2 weeks of working there, we finally decided that
tonight's the night, baby.
After working here for 2 weeks, I took my first ever 15-minute break, and I debuted it by stealing a propane tank from this vendor, along with an assortment of other items such as a wrench and a screwdriver. Now you may ask, what about stealing things? This place is packed. I can guarantee that nobody notices anything that goes missing here, especially household common tools. But no, due to my disguise, I have clearance to enter the compound, whilst it comes with its drawbacks of half of the people inside being suspicious of me. As you see, I made use of my propane tank, throwing it to, move the guard, as he quite literally rarely moves. I don't think he moves at all, looking back on it. But no, I make my way through this window, and immediately take my first right going upstairs. Well, taking a brick first, because, brick, cool. But no. Now I've just got to wait for this guy to turn around as he walks up and down that singular corridor to patrol. It's really annoying, but the second he shows a sign of his animation stopping, I distract said guard there and wait for a good 2 seconds. And upon his arrival, I take out my coins and prepare to take cover against this specific wall so I can make sure these two both turn around, allowing me to enter Zaydan's office. Now, I could go the easy way and poison him, because there literally is poison here, but no, I'm setting him up for an explosive finale. And in doing that, I now have to make my way out of a compound where nearly every guard is an enforcer. I start by throwing my audio distraction device to allure one guard to, go downstairs and surrender it into evidence. Now, I do get this back, don't worry, because, prints and stuff. But no, well, to be fair, it probably wouldn't be expected anyway, because, Zaydan's death is going to be of an accidental kind. But no, after luring away one guard, I throw yet another coin to make these two be distracted, and I bolt for it. I clearly just bolt for it. Now, I'm not going to go all the way downstairs. I'm going to go out of this little crack here, because not only is it just a lot quicker for me to get outside, but it's also a lot more convenient, as the window to the evidence room is right where that guard is standing. So I very casually make my way towards him, as, nobody will ever expect a waiter. Quickly climb in and, as you do, just snag an explosive device. Who cares about security or bombs when it just is what it is, dude. Now I take a third brick, because, bricks are cool. And then I try to throw it to get this guy to let me out, but it doesn't work. So I have to sit there and wait for them to all panic upon Zaydan's death to actually be let out.
Target down. Move on to Klaus Strandberg.
Upon Zaydan's death, this guy finally learns how to unlock a fucking door. But now I can shift my focus onto Klaus Hugo Stramberg, a guy who I don't already like because he shares the same name as the dickhead fish in American Dad.
Francine, wanna watch me play Elden Ring?
Yeah, I'd say it's safe to say I do not like that fish. Anyways, I start to make my way towards Klaus's location, which is in the consulate building, and obviously I'm going to be entering through the garage, as I am the waiter that nobody pays attention to. But if someone stares at me for too long, I'm fucked. After arriving, due to being on mastery difficulty, I have to actually keep an eye out for the camera. Luckily, timing was on my side and both the guard and the camera weren't looking my way. Now this is when I start to utilise my pickup point, which would be 3 electronic keycard hackers. I'm using the same logic for the surveillance cameras. Software glitch, that's all it is. So I retrieve them and then start to make my way through the garage. And for having a lot of elite armed guards down here, they do a really shit job of keeping the place secure. Like, how was I, a waiter in a hostile area, able to just sneak through without somebody even actually acknowledging me? That guy nearly caught on, but he didn't. But no, I make my way through the doors and I've officially infiltrated the consulate building, which means Klaus is even closer to his death. But no, the next part of this assassination is very simple. All I've really got to do is just be careful in my manoeuvres as to not get caught by any guards or security cameras. See, 2 of them right there, and the one on the right tends to patrol this staircase particularly, as we will see in the future. But no, I have to get rid of these 2 guards on the left and then just throw Klaus off a railing. It's very simple. I decided to use my save point here, which was luckily I did, because I had a lot of fails, which weren't nice. But no, I'm going to start off by turning this Hoover on and off just to get this guy's attention and throw down a remote explosive. As this is a very suspicious device that has just been found in the consulate building, he is obviously going to take it downstairs to evidence, which should buy me about a minute and a half, 2 minutes maybe. But no, he comes in, he's a bit confused by the Hoover, picks up the device, and you know, he makes his merry way out of there. Which means all I've got to deal with now is the second guard. Now what's funny about this is, even though I'm throwing a device on the second floor, nearly everyone on the first floor hears it. Like, if we look, like now, see, a guard on the opposite side of the room, 1 level below, was able to like comprehend it. So I start throwing stuff down there to like make sure NPCs and guards do not come up here, because it has happened multiple times before, just as Klaus has arrived, and it has bit me in the ass. But now this guard's about to do the exact same thing. And because I've sent the later guard with the audio distraction device, means I'll be able to trigger it in the event that I think I need more time. But no, now all I've got to do is wait for Klaus Strandberg. He'll obviously not see me as suspicious. If anything, he actually asks me for a snack, I think it was. But no, that is absolutely hilarious to me, and it's at this point where I realise I have to get this right, because I do not have the detonator for the audio device, which is not very good. Not very good at all. But no, it's time for me to play the waiting game. But no, the waiting game isn't that long, because as we now see, Klaus comes through. And it's at this point, I didn't even know that I wasn't suspicious by him up until this point, because I realised, wait, there's not an enforcer dot on his head. Does that mean I can just walk up to him? And yeah, you can see me tiptoe out. See, look at this. He's just... bruh, dead. the guy does not see me as suspicious. He is that arrogant that he does not see me as suspicious. But now I need to actually make my way out, which is a very difficult task. If you weren't me, of course. You know, a little bit of ego right there. Now I sit and wait for the second guard to come back. As you know, better safe than sorry. Rather play the long game than get fucked in the short game. And basically all I've got to do now is reverse engineer the way I got in and leave the level. It's as simple as that, really. That's all I really have to do. And if we look at my minimap right now, that guy is seconds away from approaching. But you may also notice on the stairs, another guard exists, which means I've got to wait for him to restart his route. So, you know, I stare at him through a wall, as 47 loves to do. It's one of his little autistic hobbies. But no, basically, that is all that Marrakesh is, like, if I'm being completely honest. It took a long time to plan it, as I originally went with the intention of doing it, you know, suit only. But then I realised, like, I had a pure epiphany at one point, whilst, like, raging, trying to do this. I was like, wait, I never said I can't use starting disguises, and I've spent that much time on this map, I'm now mastery level 8. So, I was like, you know, I'm a waiter. I'll give myself a low-level disguise, which is probably something I'm going to incorporate in the rules for the next, like, season of this, which is going to cover Hitman 2, of course. But now, we are now in the garage. I've just got to watch out for the camera and obviously make my way through the exact same way I made my way in. Just being a bit more careful as to not, like, get spotted. Because if I got spotted at this point, it just means another reattempt on Klaus's life, which isn't that hard, but like I said, it's mainly RNG based. But now I swagger my way through, and if swagger was a 50-year-old man crouching, making his way through a parking lot, I was indeed swaggering. But no, I didn't want to take any chances, so I even crouch here and take cover. I really wanted to throw this at this guy's head, you know, just pure impulse. But, no, I don't. And the second this guard actually turns around, which should be right, yep, there we are, right now, I can make my way through, look out for the camera and the consulate security, and then boom, I'm in the clear. Consulate security is looking away. I check the camera. Camera's just about to meet position. And here we go. I'm out, I'm in the clear. There is no way I can fail this run now. Well, there's possibly multiple ways that I'd find because of my luck and the fact that I'm a dumbass. But no, that is it for Marrakesh. Yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this video and my really, really long monologue, because half the time, because I don't do overly edited videos, it feels awkward trying to fill a space like this. So I hope it's not too awful as a viewer. Like, I can get sick of my own voice, so I can imagine how easy it is for others. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Finale is going to be Colorado. Yeah, there's not a smile on my face right now if you can't tell. Bye bye.